All right. As promised, I'm going to try to scratch together something fairly quickly here. I'm using, start out with yellow ochre and raw umber. No, yellow ochre and titanium white. And then introduced a bit of alizarin crimson. And cobalt blue. We'll get some mauves in place here. I don't know why I call it mauve. Purple, mauve. I don't know. One of those things. Let's introduce let's introduce a bit of raw umber here as well. A little bit of dirty sky so the whole thing doesn't look like candy. I might eat my words later, but we'll see. Okay. The last painting I was playing with, I had little piles of color on my palette because I just needed a little bit at a time. Now I'm using a knife, so I may as well freshen up my palette with piles that are a little bit larger. Not a lot because it's a small painting, but you use a knife, you go through a ton more paint. Cobalt blue raw umber, that's a nice kind of cool gray. Throw a little bit of ultramarine blue in there. I'm not being too worried about stroke placement, you know, in general, right? Because we mix and move things around on the panel itself when we're using a knife. Sometimes I tend to prattle away while I'm painting. Prattling to the camera. No, not while I'm painting, but when I'm doing a video. So I think I'll try to avoid that today. God, there isn't much to say. I've always been kind of a sucker for stormy skies, though. I know a lot of people prefer happy clouds, happy this, happy that. That's fine, but it doesn't mean I'm manic depressive or anything. It's just that's what excites me. From my earliest childhood memories growing up on the prairies, I loved crazy skies. There's just so much life there. Okay, let's change our theme here. That's our sky in place. No, it's not completely painted. It's just in place. No, that's not going to show up. Well, it's a lower value, but it's sort of a similar color to what we have in place already. I guess I'm kind of picturing a sloughy area. You know, sort of a prairie scene. Bit of a slough. A lot of sky, obviously. That's more or less what the painting's about, really, is the sky. No, I'll start lower. I will start lower. Try to establish a reasonably coherent line here. Excuse me. All right. That does something I like anyway. That's a bit of raw umber, a hint of ultramarine blue, a bit of burnt sienna, and some yellow ochre. Now we're going to get into a little more yellow ochre. Oh, I'm really winging it here. Yeah, it's okay. All right. Some yellow ochre, some burnt sienna, and some white. Let's raise the values. I like to let's just put a little sparkle on there right now, just to make sure that we don't become too drab right away. Not thrilled, but you know, that's just for the moment. Let's see where it takes us. Slew. Okay, I don't think I want just a band of water here. I think I'd like to break it up a little bit. But what we'll do first is, excuse me, we will go to, we're going to put a little bit of water in, and I think we'll go a few higher values in here. Some ultramarine blue, and some cobalt blue, and some burnt sienna. And a little yellow ochre. Let's go a little bit greener. Drop that value a little bit. Yeah, I think I like that better. Sorry guys, I keep mumbling. Yeah, I like that. Low values, low values. Maybe it's not so bad if this is sort of a little water in the foreground. Maybe it'll be okay. Yeah, yep. Dark foreground, that's going to work for me just fine. I'm using mostly ultramarine blue with a hint of burnt sienna in this right now. Got to be careful. If you use too much burnt sienna, you immediately go very black, and I don't want to do that. I want the blue, the ultramarine blue, to be the dominant color here in the foreground. Yeah, it's dark, but it's got color. Okay, so we have our glowy foreground going. These bushes aren't solid enough. They look a little ethereal. They look a little weak. We need to give them some strength. So let's lay some color in the underside of the bush. This time, I'm still playing with burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, but now the balance has changed. Now, by far, it's mostly burnt sienna. With a little bit of ultramarine blue. Boy, these little wood panels, they sure are slippery compared to working on a canvas. And the paint, as I think I've complained about recently, this paint's pretty slippery too. There's a lot of oil in it. Okay. Cleaning my knife pretty regularly here while we do this. Okay, I'm gonna have a little stand up and back up just to see how we're making out. All right, I think the general idea is there. I think it's not bad. Now let's do a little bit of grooming, shall we? In fact, I think I'm going to dip into cad yellow medium and a hint of white just to test the waters really more than anything. Okay, let me add a touch of burnt sienna to that because that's pretty killer color right there. jump up too high in chroma or value. Not yet, not quite yet. We're almost there, but not quite. Oh boy. Weaker and weaker by the moment here. I don't like that. Okay. Bit of yellow ochre. Bit of white. Higher in value, but not quite the same chroma as these beautiful cadmiums give us. Go a little heavy on the alizarin crimson and yellow ochre, and let's just put a few shots of that in here. Trying to make the thing a little richer in color. I think that's... Now we're just going to go alizarin crimson and white. So we end up with a few pink spots here and there. Okay. It's still not... The painting can withstand a little more, so I'm going to go quinacridone. Quinacridone magenta. And white. Yes, this one is very impressionistic. Trying to give some various shapes and various spots. I have a cold that's just hanging on and hanging on. That's okay. It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. All right, how about a little bit of, excuse me, titanium white, and a hint of ultramarine blue. Bit of a test stroke there. Okay, I'm okay with that. Now I need finesse. Now I need to just kind of not get too carried away. But if I do, we'll be okay. We can scrape it off and redo it. Although the surface of the painting does become more slippery with every reapplication. That's okay. Where water meets shore, you will often find more of a disturbance, and it'll pick up some of the light from the sky. So I often like to lay a little bit of a line in there as well. Helps to plant the far shoreline visually, you know? Okay, that can go. Let's just put something in about here. Just try it out, see how it looks, see what we think of that. Let's carve that a little bit. Make these a little bit smaller. A little more finesse. As well as this little bit right here. I think we can take a bit of the oomph out of that. Let's bring our dark in here a little more too. always so tempted to keep playing in the water. You could add more and add more and add more. And I think I'm going to hold off because I'm going to go back into the sky now. Groom it. Finish it again, trying to avoid putting too many strokes in there. Because ultimately what you end up with is a very non-impressionist painting. And that is not the point of this one. All right. I'd like a little more drama here. So I think what I'll do is take some of this ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson and a hint of white. We like our purples against our reds. A little bit of cobalt blue in there too. It's a little bit light, especially seeing as I'm going over some wet paint. We need a strong horizon. Well, we need strength where the bush meets the sky. How about that? This is the way I'm choosing to do it at the moment. Doesn't have to be as strong here or as there, but here, below this, yeah, because here we are. We want our point of what's supposed to be interest to be actually interesting. I know I put a little brush in there earlier, or a little twig in there earlier, but that's okay, it can go. It can go. The way of the dodo bird. Well, I'm still wanting more strength here. Because I like it. I just do. See, and now you just feather right into this wet paint above it. This could even be interpreted as a hill in the distance, doesn't matter. Okay, let me just grab another knife here. This one has a better curve to it. You know, it's not just perfectly flat, so it's a little easier to maneuver in some places without leaving too many hard lines. It's a little broader blade as well. Okay. Okay, I just better stop. Actually, you know what I better do? I better stand up, back up, and have another look at this. All right. I think we're doing fairly well. How about if we how about if we put a little bit more light up here? Actually, how about if we put a little more light in a few spots? You know what I'd like to do? You know what I'd like to do? I would like to just before I forget. Throw in a few sort of stumpy looking bits of trunk here and there. Not one and another 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 one. No, that's just monotonous. Just a few, all right? So it helps to qualify it as bush. I hope that's visible. Hope you can understand what I'm saying. All right. We're taking the same gray and we're going to hop into this guy here for a moment. Just to try a couple things. Just to make the sky rich. Cobalt blue. And a little bit of yellow ochre. Which brings us to kind of a greeny green. That's pretty light. That's pretty light, but you know, I'm not sure that I mind that. It gives it a good, you get a good variety. That's a happy blue. Whoops, I said happy. That's not good. Whoops, that's the wrong place. I keep wiping my knife as I do this. I'm playing. I'm really, I'm in the process of lowering the strength of this painting. And I don't know that it needs a lot more playing in the periphery. I think that what I'll do now is solidify the strength here. So, we'll scrape the gunk off my palette. Yep, I waste as much paint. I probably waste as much paint as I actually put on. No, that's not true. That's not true. But I probably, and I won't call it a waste, because really, once you've overmixed your little mixing pile on your palette, for this style of painting, you're going to kill the strokes. So I like to keep it raw. So if I haven't gone through my little pile, or if it's starting to kill itself, it's starting to die because I keep mixing into the same pile, I'll scrape it off, get rid of it. Okay, we'll go back to this. Back to this yellow ochre and titanium white. That's a bit strong. Breathe. Remember to breathe. I had to go through a pile of toilet paper too, especially when I'm painting with a knife. I'll tell you. Ugh. All right. Okay. Okay, just stop. Just stop, Phil. Come on. Okay, that is still that is still a fairly strong painting, so oops, gotta get another roll of TP. Maybe I should stop while I'm ahead. Because I think we're ahead. I think we're doing okay. Okay, Impressionist study. There we have it. I'm happy with that. It has life. It has much more life than a refined finished painting, in my view, to my taste. Let me just square the camera off here. Do a little zoom. Whoops. Across the water here. Economy of stroke are magic words when it comes to a painting. You want to put the paint on as effectively and as economically as possible. Or economically, however you want to pronounce it. There's our bush. Let's open it up a little. Let's back up a little bit here. Sorry for my wonderful camera work. And laying some of those final bits of light in there. Yeah, you got to be pretty delicate. You got to have a delicate hand for doing that. But don't forget, a painting like this is meant to be viewed not from 2 inches away. More like that. Here, let me just zoom in. Tighten this. I find that interesting. And some people will still see it as distant hillsides, you know, with some cloud maybe muddling things up here. I don't care. It's actually I like that. I kind of like that people will see the scene in you know, through different lenses. They'll have different ideas. The scene has color, it has richness, it has movement, it has rhythm, it has unity. I think in general the composition's good. Talk to you soon, guys.